This is News with the Disney Dude. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content, and please hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Here now is the news for Wednesday, March 18th of 2026. Big Top Souvenirs is now topless and is surrounded by stripped scrim in the Magic Kingdom. I hope that this is temporary. It looks really bad. It looks really bad. I mean, we're talking like there is no roof on this thing. There is zero roof on this thing. So I really hope that they're going to cover this sooner rather than later, because not only does it look bad, we are also starting our rainy season. So again, I really hope that this is going to be covered sooner rather than later. But we're just going to have to keep our fingers crossed and wait. But it looks bad. It really, really looks bad. Now, I'm not saying that, this is not the first step in getting this fixed, which is, great. But again, I hope that they, kind of move rapidly on this, because, again, A, it doesn't look good, and B, it's, we're approaching our rainy season. So hopefully this will get covered sooner rather than later. But we'll have to keep an eye on this for you. Piston Peak goes vertical at the Magic Kingdom, which is great. It's really showing signs of progress. They are starting. They're starting with, they're doing the foundation work, and now there's construction is starting to go vertical on the area. So that's great. I am blocked out this week because of spring breaks, or at least the first half of spring breaks. I'll get to go back next week. So when I go back, hopefully I can when I go to Magic Kingdom, I can blog, and I can show you the progress. Hopefully, show you the progress made. But they're moving. They're starting construction now. Josh tomorrow addresses high Disney parks ticket pricing. Look, every CEO, at one time or another, talks about pricing. Michael Eisner talked about it. Bob Iger talked about it. Bob Chapek talked about it, and now Josh tomorrow is talking about it. Look, do I think that they're going to lower prices? No. Okay, they're just not. I know that they're talking. They keep talking about how it's not affordable anymore, and how, the average family can't go to Disney anymore. Are they going to do anything about it? I really find that hard to believe, especially with Lightning Lane sales, skyrocketing. I mean, the average out-of-town guest is going to pay for the Lightning Lane, either the multi-pass or the premier pass. Okay, so I just don't think that they're going to do anything about the prices. I mean, this requires a whole other, discussion and topic and everything, which, I guess I could have done that on my other show, but, I didn't even really think about it. But, every Disney CEO will eventually talk about the prices in the parks. They do. You know, that's, you know, it's, you know, Michael Eisner, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, now with Josh D'Amaro. I just don't see them lowering prices. I just don't. You know, they talk about one thing, but do another. You know, so do I think that they're going to lower prices? I really don't. I really find that hard to believe. And I really hate to be that guy and say that, and crush people, but I just don't see them. I just don't see them doing that. I really, really don't. Now they'll absolutely they'll raise prices, absolutely. But, making it more affordable, I think that ship has sailed. I really think it has, and I really hate to, this is the last conversation that I want to have in front of this camera, talking about, parks not being affordable to go anymore. But I'm sorry, but I really I don't think that it's possible. I really don't think it's possible. I would love to be proved wrong. Absolutely. I would absolutely love to be proved wrong. And, sitting here in, months or even a couple years from now and saying, you know what, Walt Disney World lowered their prices. I would love to do that. And then I would eat my words. But folks, I'm sorry. I just don't. I really just don't see it. I'm sorry, but I really don't think that that's going to happen. I really don't. Possible construction at former Indiana Jones merchandise kiosk at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Near the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, there used to be a little kiosk that would sell, I assume that they're doing construction on, that's related to the old store that used to be there, and that area. That store has not been open since COVID. It is briefly reopened here and there, but I don't think that it's ever coming back. So they're probably just doing like construction. I really don't know. I really have no idea, what this construction would be. It's evidently, people are going to come in the comments and they're going to be like, oh, Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is going away. It's not going away. Okay, there's no way that that's happening. Okay, so maybe this is just for the store or what's around that store. I don't know, but that store has not been open since post-COVID. So I don't know. I really have no idea if that store is going to reopen. It's like, it's like that Studio One store that's literally right around the corner from The Little Mermaid: A Musical Adventure. That store has not been open since COVID. It's closed. So I don't know if they would do anything with that either, but we're just going to have to, wait. I don't know what this construction permit would be, what it's for, but they're not getting rid of the show. Okay. The show is not going anywhere. All right. As far as we know, which I really hope it doesn't go, because that's the last remaining thing of MGM Studios. of the MGM Studios days. If the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular were to close, that would be it. That would be it. There would be nothing left of opening year for Disney MGM Studios. That would be it. And people, I'm sure, are going to come in the comments, are going to be like, well, what about Beauty and the Beast? Beauty and the Beast didn't come until 1991. Okay. And then people are like, Phantasmic. Again, that didn't come until, what was it? 1998. All right. So, Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is the only thing left. It is the only thing left in that park from opening year. Okay? Nothing else remains. Great Movie Ride is gone. The tram tour is gone. The Eiffel Tower is gone. Most everything in that park opening year 1989 is gone. That's it. It's gone. Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is it. That is it. I know we want to go on and on about this, this MGM Studios, Hollywood Studios thing of, how it's not really MGM Studios anymore. There is one thing left. One thing left from the MGM Studios days. And that is the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. And I just don't see them getting rid of it. I really, really don't. At least I hope not in my lifetime. I could be proved wrong. I don't know. But, because I've sat here and said, Muppets is never going away. And look what happened there. But I just don't think that Indiana Jones is still very popular. It is still very popular. So I don't see them ever getting rid of the show, at least for a long, long time. So I think that this construction is just for the area around that store. Okay. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin entrance has been painted white, and more railings have been installed. We are just a few short weeks away from that reopening. Like I said, I am blocked out during that time, so I can't go opening day. I'll have to go a couple days after. But when I do go back to Magic Kingdom after Easter, I will be filming that ride and putting that up on my Disney Ride channel. So look for that soon, but that won't be until after Easter. Construction begins on Monstropolis entrance at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I'm interested to see what the entrance is. What kind of entrance they're going to have. Because Grand Avenue, I loved Grand Avenue and, that whole area, Muppet Vision and all, that whole area I loved. But really, the only thing that was there was just, two kind of walls there that and a plaque that said Grand Avenue. That was it. So I don't know if they're going to build like a whole archway, to say that this is Monstropolis. I don't know. I don't know. So when I go back to Hollywood Studios, I'm gonna have to go check on that. So that's one of the things I'll have to vlog about as well. Again, all this stuff I'll have to check after my blockout date. After my blockout, I can go back for one more week. Next week I can go back. So I have a couple Disney trips planned. So when I go back to Hollywood Studios, I will have to check up on this. And so look for that video because I will be vlogging then. So look for that video on my vlogging channel, Blogging with the Disney Dude. But I'm interested to see what kind of entrance they have. I really am. Disney's Wilderness Lodge boat transportation is temporarily pausing again this spring. Why are they paused? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait until Disney gives us an official reason. It might be for, maintenance or a refurbishment or something. I don't know. It seems kind of odd that they would do this right now during the busy spring break season. But maybe they had to close it. Maybe they had to close the boats again for some reason. But I don't know. We'll have to keep our eyes open. Belle banner is missing from Beauty and the Beast live on stage at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So if you're looking at Theater of the Stars, which is basically the Hollywood Bowl, it's a takeoff on the Hollywood Bowl. If you're looking at that theater, you see Beauty and the Beast live on stage. A bunch of banners. They have Beauty and the Beast live on stage in the middle, and then on one side they have Belle and the Beast and Lumiere and Cogsworth, and on the other hand they have Mrs. Potts and Chip. These banners obviously are exposed to the elements 365 days a year through the Florida sun, the Florida rain, the Florida hurricanes. I think, I don't know, they might take those down. I don't know. I'm not Disney maintenance, so I don't know what they take down during hurricanes or what, but they're exposed to the elements 365 days a year. So it could have been that one of them got that the Belle banner got ripped due to the winds, because it's been relatively windy here again and cold. So maybe it got ripped, or maybe it got faded. Again, let's say it with me, kids. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Okay, because that's the new tagline for the show. All right, but it is important that they keep that they keep all of these banners or signs or whatever in pristine condition. It's really important that they do that. So, again, I'm sure someone's going to come in the comments. They can be like, oh no, they're getting rid of Beauty and the Beast. No, no, they're not. They're not getting rid of Beauty and the Beast live on stage. Okay. No. They're just doing refurbishment work on these banners. So don't worry. It's going to be okay. All right. She'll be back. She will be back. Disney begins Main Street sidewalk refurbishment at the Magic Kingdom. Again, obviously these parks get a lot of foot traffic and a lot of, ECV traffic. So it's important to keep these sidewalks, again, in pristine condition because, again, we don't want people falling or tripping over, I bring this up because of the woman that tripped on the trolley tracks at the Magic Kingdom and was like, you need proper signage and blah, 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 blah. So they're probably just doing this because, they don't want to, they don't want someone tripping on the sidewalks and in the Magic Kingdom and getting sued. Which is surprising that they would do this right now, because the Main Street sidewalks are extremely crowded. They are extremely crowded. And that's not even during peak time. It's, they're crammed together because it's, they're trying to, Disney's trying to, use forced perspective and everything, but they're, the Main Street buildings are jammed together for a reason. And that, unfortunately, that creates a lot of traffic on the sidewalks. So it's interesting that they would do that now, but I'd rather them do it now than, wait for the sidewalks to get really bad, and then you have people suing Disney for stupid stuff. So, yeah. I'd rather that happen than waiting until someone has an accident. Rotting window frames and damaged archway in Epcot's France Pavilion. Again, I'm gonna say, Disney, you need to. You are getting better. You are absolutely getting better with your maintenance and everything. I think social media has kind of, we've put them on the spotlight now because, now, there's the internet and photos and everything. So we post videos and pictures all the time. So, Disney obviously, now everybody knows, because of social media and everything, these things get around a lot faster. So now Disney is going to take note of this, and this is going to be another one of those things where they're going to have to fix relatively quick, because you don't want damaged, archways and rotting window frames. Because speaking of lawsuits, one of those days those things could give out and fall on somebody and hurt them, or possibly, worse, kill them. So Disney, I know that you don't want that. So I hope that this gets fixed sooner rather than later. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed. But Disney, if you're paying attention to this, you need to start figuring this out. You need to figure this out. You are getting better. You are getting better with your maintenance, which I am really happy with. But, stuff like this, Gertie's tail falling off, that wasn't a good thing. You fixed that relatively quick, so thank you. I hope that this is another one of those things that gets fixed really quick, because it doesn't look good. And it's really dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. So Disney, if you're listening, I hope you fix this sooner rather than later. Club Cool is missing branded cups and multiple soda flavors again at Epcot. I don't know if this is I would assume this is a supply issue. I really hate to, bring the real world into this, but, obviously right now we're going through, a war right now with Iran, and things are, price, gas is getting more expensive, and prices are getting, more expensive. And now things are gonna be, hard to get in again. Things are gonna be missing for, again, for probably quite a bit. Okay. This is not like, COVID, where it's going to be gone for a long time. But I think we're going to start seeing, now, I think we're going to start seeing supply and demand. I think we're going to see supplies kind of dwindling now. Which again, I really hate to bring, the real world into this and politics, but I think that that's what we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing supply and chain demands different at the Disney parks, not just Walt Disney World, but Disneyland, and SeaWorld. I think we're going to start seeing more supply chain problems again. I really, really think we are. So please just pack your patience. It is annoying, but it will get better. It will get better. Okay, I guarantee it. All right. And our last story is Epcot. The Epcot trees by Spaceship Earth are recovering after damage due to the cold snap. So so again, Disney is fixing these trees again because they don't want them to fall over and hurt anybody or worse. So again, they want to they want to fix up stuff again, now, because now we're heading into our rainy season and hurricane season is just around the corner in just a couple months. So they need, Disney is now trying to get all of this outside stuff finished. So once hurricane season starts, they won't be bogged down with really bad maintenance problems. All right. But there you are. There's your news for this week. Again, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel for more content. I thank you guys very much for watching this video. I will see you right back here on Monday. Until then, y'all keep each other safe and healthy. And remember that tomorrow is just a dream away.